This was some research that we had done, I want to say a year ago or so, but a lot of people, a lot of brands out there, and this is local and national brands that we surveyed, who are currently using some type of mover marketing program, are using it for customer acquisition. They're doing it when people are moving. There's other use cases too, which I think is interesting. Customer retention, great for brand awareness as well. What are your thoughts on this, Spencer?
Yeah, I can't think of a company out there that I know of that's just very successful that doesn't spend their time putting their brand in front of individuals. And I think it can be a question sometimes in our brain of like, man, like I'm about to spend this money and I'm a small business and I'm going to put $1,500 a month into putting out this one segment. And it can feel sometimes that ROI isn't coming back or isn't returned back to your pocket very quickly. But there's always some sort of ROI. And a lot of people when it comes to direct mail, they focus a lot on ROI versus the customer list. And so they'll take a customer list and it's like, yeah, I mailed out to all these people that had a special QR code or a telephone number. And they're really like, what came back from that specifically? But if you look at the way that marketing works is sometimes I get a mailer and it's forefront in my head, but the mailer is over on the counter and I remember the website. And so I just jump on my phone and I just go to it. So a more holistic approach and probably what can help in businesses' minds is actually taking this data and looking at a full customer list. And anybody in that mail list was probably influenced by an engagement. And so to think of it one step up the funnel rather than down the funnel is I think the best way to think about this and the impact that it has to your business. And so I think people get this scope of, I don't know if I believe these statistics, I can't see it. Only big companies who are spending millions see it or this or that. But we can all see these statistics if we just brought in the level at which we look at the business and kind of those things.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think too, it goes to this point, 64% of people say moving was one of the most stressful things they had to go through. So you might take a mail piece, for example, throw it on your refrigerator, forget about it. You're doing all these other different things. And I know for me, I'm actually looking at my desk right now and I have postcards that have been mailed to me that I'm like, oh, one is for back repair because I know eventually I will need that. I got that probably 3 or 4 months ago and it has staying power. I have not needed it yet, but I know it's there. And of course it works in tandem with other channels, but just because I might receive that direct mail piece, there might be a QR code on it that I can scan to go to the website. I don't want to do that. I want to actually go search for them online and then I'll probably call them. So you can't necessarily tie it back to that direct mail piece, but it's front and center for when I am thinking of HVAC. I will look there first at my mail piece and then head to my computer.
Yeah, so true. I think a good way for businesses to really test their return on investment is do like a hold percent back of the people that they've done so they can compare 95% of stuff they have sent out compared to the 5% they held back, and then look at the engagements of those customers. And so I think it can be really worthwhile to digest and think about the impact that this has. But these people are extremely stressed. I think moving comes third, maybe in the stress levels of people's life behind like death and divorce. And so just imagine that kind of stressful time and narrow it down to a time when, I don't know, if your car was stuck on the side of a highway. It's like, who did you think of to call is similar to what marketing does for people. It establishes those kind of brain wavelengths and just like creates trust in their brain of, I know who to call. And so that's what we're trying to do as a marketing company and take the expense. If companies go and do this by themselves, it can be just more expensive. So because we already have these channels, especially for the national distribution that we're trying to hit and increase, we know how expensive that can be internally. And we want to take that cost and that expense and that risk for the companies that we're working with because we've already done it. And so we have that experience. And so it's just always really nice, whether it's a local company that's small and only has a budget of a few $1,000s or whatever they have, or a company that can spend hundreds of thousands. The ideas still don't change.